Well, here we are. What a great evening we have in front of us. An evening of talking, of discussing, and having everyone's opinion, but different opinions in a world that we need what you think. On a besoin de vos pensées, sans aucun doute, pour arriver à notre but. Un but qui est le fun, mais un échange qui peut être assez spectaculaire en même temps, dépendant de vos impressions. Hello, my name is Rodger Brulotte, former broadcaster for the Montreal Expos, and now broadcaster of the Blue Jays French Network. You know, when you do baseball, a lot of things happen. You have a chance to go through different areas on the field and off the field, which are more and more important whatsoever. I'm honored today to have been invited by Right to Play to host this discussion. Why? Evolving around something very important. The theme, Strong Girls Means a Strong World. C'est un plaisir pour moi d'animer cette journée, puisque cette rencontre, le thème est tellement important. Des filles fortes dans un monde fort. Le monde des affaires ainsi que les athlètes sont des partenaires importants dans la société afin de permettre qu'on puisse reconnaître que les filles font partie d'un monde fort. Today's panel consists of people from the business world, the sports world, to allow us to understand the importance of the presence of strong girls in a strong world. La Banque nationale est un fier partenaire du programme Right to Play. Without any doubt, National Bank has always been there to help this program. And I'd like to invite the Executive Vice President of the National Bank. Accueillons le vice-président exécutif de la Banque nationale, M. Laurent Ferreira.
Alors, merci beaucoup, M. Brulotte, pour l'introduction. Très gentil de ta part. Good evening to everyone. So first, I would like to thank Right to Play for inviting me to say a few words on behalf of National Bank. I am very pleased to join you this evening for this Strong Girl, Strong World Right to Play event on the topic of gender equality. National Bank has been supporting Right to Play for many years. My colleague, Sean St. John, works at the bank in Toronto, is on the board of directors and is a longtime supporter of this important cause. So we are very proud at the bank to be associated with Right to Play and to contribute to their mission. Now, this evening, I would like to talk for my introduction here to you about what we do at the bank to promote gender equality and empowerment of women, which is similar to the mission of Right to Play of helping people rise above adversity. One of our focus at National Bank is helping women in the world of finance with initiatives to raise awareness and support women throughout their career. So in order to do that, what we do, we work with associations such as Women in Capital Markets and l'Association des Femmes en Finance du Québec, that are networking organizations that help women who work in finance connect with each other. Also with our clients, we promote women entrepreneurship by organizing events, conferences for women business owners, and we share learning experiences with them and provide them also with training. More specifically at National Bank, we offer scholarships to women studying in finance, economics, or any related discipline. And we also provide mentoring and support to women in their careers by really fostering a strong work-life balance culture. So these are some examples of the work we do to support women and increase their chances of success. So on that, thank you all, and please enjoy the conversation with our guest, Caroline Ouellette. Un grand merci pour l'invitation encore. Alors, je vous repasse la parole.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Caroline, think about it. The Olympic women's team. How we're so proud of you. How you gave us the chance to find out to be proud Canadians. Vous savez, l'équipe féminine de hockey a joué un rôle important. Nous a donné la chance d'être fiers. On regarde toujours l'équipe masculine. Mais là, on a une équipe qui nous montre comment jouer. Comment justement être prêt. Comment savoir gagner. Avec nous, une des grandes meneuses. 6 médailles d'or au championnat du monde. 4 Olympic gold medals. And she's always been there. I'd like to welcome Caroline Ouellette, one of our great athletes throughout Canada. Bonjour, Caroline.
Bonjour, Rodger.
The first time I saw Caroline, she was maybe 12 years old. She was playing on a men's hockey team, boys. I was president of the tournament, and she was the outstanding player on that team. Je me rends à Rosemont, tournoi Pee-Wee, Tom. Meilleur joueur de Pee-Wee pour l'équipe de comité des jeunes de Rosemont, c'est qui? C'est Caroline. But Caroline, today there's something even more special. On the ice you played on, that same rink, la même patinoire, today is named Caroline Ouellette. How do you feel having that?
That was such an incredible honor. Je me souviens tellement d'avoir eu un appel du maire de Rosemont, puis il m'avait dit, j'ai un très beau cadeau pour toi. Puis je me souviens à l'époque, je me disais, tu sais, ça doit être des fleurs, un livre de remerciements, de bravo, t'as gagné la médaille d'or olympique. Puis je m'attendais zéro à ça. Puis je me souviens des émotions que j'ai ressenties. Also, my parents were so emotional. It was a big way for them to realize and remember everything that they had done for me to make it to the national team, to the Olympic Games. And it's one of the greatest honor an athlete can have. And I feel very special every time I get the chance to go back and play at the Etienne Desmarteau Center and see my name on the ice is very, very special.
Well, to go through that, though, you had certain mountains to climb. And one of those mountains, without any doubt, is to find a way that equality gender be recognized, l'égalité des femmes reconnue. What do you think about that?
Ouais, c'est certain que c'est un sujet qui me tient tellement à cœur. Puis j'ai vraiment vu l'évolution de ce sujet important à travers le sport. Tu sais, quand je pense à quand j'ai commencé à jouer au hockey, il y avait aucune fille qui jouait ou très peu. On n'avait pas d'autre choix que de jouer avec les garçons. Donc, ma génération de joueuses, on a à peu près tout entendu comme insulte. We heard about every possible name calling. We had to fight and persevere through that. And then to see now how much the female game has evolved, where there are full female hockey leagues, or for young boys and young girls, it's totally normal for either girls or boys to play hockey. It's absolutely incredible. And what I've loved to see, and I really think that the Vancouver Olympic Games have created that in Canada, is that now young boys have female role models as idols.
Yeah.
Marie-Philippe Poulin is an idol to just as much young.
But so are you, Caroline. So are you. You have to remember that. What's the pressure of that, being a woman athlete and being an idol of the young kids, boys and girls? How does it feel?
C'est le plus beau privilège. C'est aussi une grande responsabilité pour moi. Souvent, Rodger, je pense à ma jeunesse. Je pense aux 2 ans où j'ai demandé à mes parents, I asked for 2 years my parents to let me play hockey. My dad had resistance. He had never seen a girl play hockey. And it took me 2 years. And I often think about that, the fact that I'm 41 and many women of my age tell me exactly that. I wanted to play hockey. I wasn't allowed. And I feel so lucky when I hear their stories, and it inspires me to want to give back to my sport and want to encourage young girls to start to play hockey, to try different sports, because I really truly understand and believe in the power of sport that can transform your life.
But what was the turning point for the men's Olympic teams, les Olympiens masculins, de vous respecter? What was the turning point that finally they respected the hockey team that was so dominant? What was the turning point?
Well, I think that honestly, with men's pro hockey players, they've always respected women that are the best at what we do because they understand the sacrifices. They had no idea what women were going through at the beginning. They didn't know that women were working full time while training for the Olympic Games. So I think that respect has always been there. You saw from 1998 men's hockey players coming to the Canadian women's hockey games, and it's been like that throughout. And we've been fortunate to always have our gold medal game before the men's final. And I think in a way we have inspired them in the way we played and winning a gold medal every time over my career with the national team over 4 Olympic Games. So I've made some great friendships with men's Olympic players, and I know they are our allies. They believe in us, they believe in our sport, and they want to help us create a women's professional hockey league.
Caroline, you were talking about motherhood. Mère de famille. Tu es mère de famille aujourd'hui. Now you're a proud mama, you got a beautiful child. How is it for athletes who want to be in the Olympics to be a mother and to practice the sport, to be an Olympian? How difficult can that be?
It's certainly a great challenge, and for me, I decided to wait after my career to have children, and I think it was the right decision for me. I have the utmost respect and admiration for a few athletes, thinking about Cassie Campbell, Cheryl Pounder, Megan Mickelson, that have been able to have a child or many children and come back and play hockey, which is absolutely incredible at the highest level. It is the greatest challenge one can face, much harder than becoming an Olympian to become a parent, but it is also the most rewarding adventure that you can go on. So I absolutely love it. And that's also why the gender equity debate is so important for me, because I want better for my daughters. I have 2 daughters. One is about to turn 3. The other one is 5 months. And
will they play hockey?
I hope so. And the oldest one already loves it. And, gender equity for me, it's about equal opportunities for both girls and boys in every scope of our life, whether it's in the workforce or in sports. And, we have so much work to still do with that. And I just want to give the great example of hockey. I think that unfortunately right now there's no professional league for the best female athletes in the world, and that really makes me sad. When we compare it to basketball, they have been under the NBA for many, many years, and you've just seen the growth in the basketball game all throughout the United States, the growth in the fan base and the support in the media covering the game. So I really, really hope that eventually the NHL is going to see the incredible potential that women's hockey has. Because in my opinion, if you support the female game, you will just develop a bigger fan base that will both follow the Montreal Canadiens and les Canadiens de Montreal, which is the female team. So I think our love for sport has no limit. And for me, that's what really gender equity is about. It's not about treating everyone the same. It's the means by which we can someday reach gender equality. And it's really important. I want it for my daughters, and I understand how much both men and women have to work towards that, and it's going to benefit everyone in the end.
Caroline, tu parles justement l'égalité. We're talking about, hey, let's be honest now. Why should we have sex differences? We're people, that's all we are. But what do the boys, the young boys especially, and the men of today have to do that we get there?
Yeah, and I want to point out, I took a great class in college that really stuck with me, and it was describing how just getting an image how at birth you come with a backpack and you're given privileges that you don't even realize are in your backpack. And I think for me, that's the first thing that we need to realize, is that together we can take such positive step towards gender equity. Collectively, we're so much stronger than we are working alone or just women working towards that. And pursuing means toward gender equity, it's not going to take away from men. It's going to empower us to have a stronger and safer communities where people feel valued and appreciated. And I want to give you an example about that. Like, women athletes are working really, really hard right now to create a professional hockey league. And if you go on social media, you're not going to see women against that idea.
No.
It's going to mostly be men that don't believe in it, that don't believe in the product. And it's not professional men's hockey players that don't believe in it. It's people that are sometimes jealous, that resist change and resist equality. So I hope that boys and men understand and become aware of the privileges they've been given at birth solely by being born male. And that's the first step to change. And I'll give you another really clear example, Rodger. I'm the head coach of the Concordia women's hockey team. And, we play in Ontario, not in our league, where the referees don't know us. Before the game, the referees comes to shake our hands. Good game, coach. Ils viennent nous voir avant le match. Bon match, coach. Automatically, most referees are going to go to my men's assistant coach thinking that he's the
coach.
the head coach, right? And it's just a simple example of how in our society sometimes we're raised to think in different patterns with gender. And I think we need to break those. We need to be aware of those biases that we have. And just in the same way that us in Canada, men and women, we need to realize that women around the world are even struggling even more than we are. And that's why I so believe in the right to play and what they do around the world to help kids. Because right now in a lot of countries, it's the system that's suppressing opportunities at all levels. And what Right to Play does with their work with kids is that they empower them through education and through sport. And there's so much work to do. And I've been fortunate to go to Benin, Africa, and witness the work that Right to Play does in Africa. And it's absolutely incredible and it's so important. Donc, pour moi, il faut vraiment arriver à un point où nos droits, nos responsabilités, nos opportunités dépendent pas du fait qu'on était né garçon ou fille. Et je crois vraiment que des filles fortes vont créer un monde qui va être plus fort, qui va être plus uni. Donc, on a vraiment beaucoup de pouvoir comme femmes et comme hommes. De la façon qu'on éduque nos enfants, qu'on éduque nos garçons et nos filles vers cette équité-là qu'on parle puis qui est tellement important. Donc, those men that go on social media and bash women's sports, I wanted them to think that someday that they might have a daughter. And I would think that when that day happens, they will want more for their daughters. They will want them to have equal opportunities. And the best female athletes should be able to make a living playing the sport that they are the best at. And that's only me talking about sports because it's the area, it's my area of expertise. I'm not going to go into talking about women in finances. It's not what I know. It's not what I experience. So I'm really passionate about sport, and my calling in life is creating better opportunities for both girls and women in hockey, in sports, in coaching, and I love what I do every day.
You're talking about coaching. Tu parles d'être entraîneur. Daniel Cadette vient nous écrire. C'est quoi le plus gros moment pour l'égalité? What is the biggest moment for gender equality? Something has happened in Major League Baseball. And I'll be honest with you, I never thought it would happen. I still remember in San Francisco, the first woman was doing the PA announcing. Boy, I was surprised. But now, San Francisco's always seemed to be ahead of everybody. Do you think you could live that one day? Ma question. San Francisco Giants have an assistant coach in uniform. Est-ce qu'un jour, Caroline Ouellette pourrait être entraîneur adjoint avec le Canadien de Montréal?
Certainement, je pense que les connaissances du hockey sont les mêmes. La passion du hockey est la même. Puis souvent, ce qui me frustre énormément, c'est qu'encore aujourd'hui, on compare beaucoup le hockey masculin avec le hockey féminin, puis on essaie de comparer les niveaux. Ce qu'il faut comprendre dans ce grand débat-là, c'est que les femmes ne seront jamais aussi fortes que les hommes. C'est une question de biologie. Et c'est pas, Rodger, parce qu'on s'entraîne pas aussi fort. Au contraire, je te dirais que la plupart des athlètes féminines que je connaisse sont encore plus disciplinées, sont encore plus dédiées à leur sport que certains professionnels que j'ai rencontrés. Il y en a des athlètes masculins extraordinaires, mais je peux te dire qu'il n'y a pas grand monde dans le monde qui travaille aussi fort que Marie-Philippe Poulin, par exemple. Mais jamais elle va être aussi forte que des athlètes masculins.
Madame Wickenheiser est avec les Maple Leafs. She's with the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
And let's face it, she's a heck of a hockey person. Do you think that one day the Leafs will dare, or should they do it and not dare? Just one day hire an assistant girl coach who could one day become a head coach.
I absolutely, truly believe in it. And I think that the way women are wired to think would benefit male coaches, and it would empower them to be better and more complete coaches. Like when I think about my style of head coach, I want assistant coach that are going to challenge me, that are going to think different than me. And often women were really focused on relationships, on making sure that people are well. You can only be good if you're feeling good. And I think that's one of the assets that we really understand. But I want to point out something important in this huge debate. Would I be honored to coach the Montreal Canadiens? Absolutely. I would love it. They've been the team that I've been following since I'm a little girl. But my ultimate professional goal would be to coach the women's team of the Montreal Canadiens.
Wow.
This would be my ultimate goal, because I've been impacted by my sport so much, and I've loved it so much, that this is what I want to help create for the female athletes. And I want to do it by working with Claude Julien, with the Montreal Canadiens, sharing knowledge, sharing expertise, so I can help bring my sport to another level.
I hope that the teams across Canada will hear the message we're doing, because we're talking about Canadians because she's from Montreal. We talked about Mrs. Weckenheiser in Toronto, and I'm sure in the rest of Canada, there's other girls who could be involved with those teams. But question I have to ask you, on vit la COVID, with what we're living now at the moment. Comment entraîneur, comment gères-tu justement le 2 mètres? How do you manage the girls 2 meters away? How is that? Is it easy? We just saw in baseball where one player, just a lack of respect, was put on the COVID list and went to celebrate with the players of the Dodgers after the game. How are you managing the situation presently with your girls on the Concordia team?
Well, it is definitely a challenge, and mainly because every person has a different comfort level with the situation that we're experiencing. No one has ever lived anything close to that. So I think as a coach, you have to be very cognizant of that, who's comfortable, who's not. And I think that you do that with conversations. You do that by knowing how your athletes are doing, how they're feeling, and by checking in often. So, for example, last week, the U Sport organization canceled the national championship for the season. As you can imagine, as an elite athlete, you work so hard for a chance to earn that championship. When you already know in October that it's canceled, it's heartbreaking. Like, I think often about the Olympians getting the Olympic Games postponed by 1 year and not knowing what's going to happen. I feel for them it must be very, very stressful, very difficult. So we made sure that we had meetings with all our athletes last week to see how they were doing, knowing that we're in the red zone in Montreal. So it's really about conversations and being open and honest with each other. And then on the ice, we try to really focus on individual skills, individual tactics. So it is possible, and you keep it positive, you keep it fun, but you make it very challenging as well.
Caroline, tu es une meneuse, sans aucun doute. Tu l'as prouvé sur la patinoire. T'entraînes aujourd'hui au hockey et ça va bien. We talk about going for it. Let's show there's a place for strong women in a strong world. We need that. However, what does a woman have to do to become a strong leader? Tu deviens comment une meneur forte dans le monde aujourd'hui?
Je pense que ça commence avec des modèles féminins. Puis malheureusement, on ne peut pas se fier aux médias pour ça. C'est pour ça que pour moi, c'est comme devenu une mission personnelle de vie. Que ce soit avec mes camps de hockey, à la fois, je veux que mes camps de hockey soient ouverts aux jeunes filles, aux jeunes garçons, parce que je trouve ça hyper important que les garçons réalisent que, hey, les filles sont capables de jouer au hockey puis sont meilleures que moi, bien souvent. Puis aussi pour les filles de voir la façon dont souvent les jeunes garçons compétitionnent. Fait que je trouve ça hyper important.
Et dans le monde des affaires? How about in the working world? What should they do?
Même chose.
What do you recommend?
Oui, créer plus d'opportunités pour les femmes. Puis aussi, moi, j'ai un message pour les femmes, ce serait de se faire confiance pour leur emploi de rêve. So, if you have a dream job, trust yourself and apply and interview for it. Don't think that you're not qualified, that you're not experienced enough. Let others judge that for you. And you'll be surprised how much people see in you and that they want to give you a chance. And then after you get that chance, it's finding mentors that are going to help you thrive, that are going to help you, and that are going to trust, that you're going to come to trust, where you can become vulnerable, you can be yourself, you can share your struggles so that you can do better and strive forward.
Okay, I have friends now who are writing to me. They want to support you. They want to support the women's cause, the right to play. What should they do?
Well, I think you can support the women's cause by supporting women, supporting girls in all areas of your life, starting with sports, starting with the workforce, noticing biases that prevent women from moving forward, from moving up in your organization. How many women are on the board of directors in your organization? Notice that, ask questions, challenge, bring solutions. I often tell my athletes, you're not happy about something, how can we fix that? So I think that's the main thing, is trusting yourself to have a voice, to give your opinion, and without being afraid of what people are going to think of you, and knowing that it's not personal. When someone gives me a constructive feedback, I don't take it personally. I take it in a way that this going to help my team win. And I think that's how we need to see everything that we approach, whether it's in our professional career. But you would be surprised how much your business can thrive better if you include more women at the top in leadership positions, because as I said before, they're going to complete you in ways that you never thought that you were struggling with.
Alors, veut pas, la représentation des femmes est très, très important. Very important for you to, whether in sports, whether in business, to have more women in key positions. Not because she's a woman, but to recognize how competent she is.
Absolutely, and I do so strongly agree. Representation do matter, because if young girls do not see women in those roles, they will not imagine themselves there. And that's why, we need to do more to create programs where girls can engage in activities that were originally or in the past not seen for them. So, I think we see how much or how well women are graduating from universities across the country, across the United States, at a far higher rates than men. Yet they are still struggling to break the glass ceiling and enter in those leadership positions. And there's no reasons for that. And I think if you look across history, like going back to the right to vote, for example, women needed men to see the need for that and see the benefit of having women vote. And it's a far away example, but
it's not that far
today.
It's not that far, Caroline. For us, it's far, but as well, it's not that far.
But it still applies today, where we need men to see value in women and to support women and to want to have women make it to the top in every sphere of our lives.
I look at the baseball world. I look at the world of business world. C'est deux mondes pareils. Le monde des affaires, le monde du sport, c'est gagner. For you, is winning the most important thing, or having come up to have a good outcome at the end? Which is more important?
I think we will remember the end result, but I think the process is far more important. And this is what's going to empower you to, in the end, have the success that you want to have. So, for example, at Concordia University, or even with the national women's team, we spend so much time on culture and accepting roles and team first.
What do you mean by culture?
The culture is the environment where you have your athletes together, is them understanding their role, embracing their role, bringing an effort each day, whether they feel like it or not. That's what being a pro means. So if you truly focus on the process and getting better each day, And also, as I said before, like being open and honest in your relationship, and as leaders, so as the coaches, being open to what your athletes can bring, it becomes more a collaboration. And I think that's where the workforce has to get to as well. It's not the boss at the top anymore. It's people working together so that you move your business or your sports team forward towards a winning environment.
The young girls, 14, 15, 16, are not the same young girls up to 12 years old when you were playing Pee-wee. Jusqu'à
Mhm.
l'âge Pee-wee, tu avais une idole. Tu avais
Yeah.
une idole comme athlète. Mais quand tu deviens une jeune femme, ton idole, tu devrais viser vers quoi? As a young lady, young teenager, what should you be looking forward to have as someone, your mentor? What should you look at?
Well, I think both girls and boys should be able to admire men and women. And I think that as parents, we have a huge responsibility in that. And I hear it all the times. You can read great article of men's pro athletes that bring their son and their daughters to female pro games, and it is life changing, and it is so important to do as your kids are really young, so that they grow up and they can identify to both gender. And for me, I want young girls in hockey to see female athletes, to see the best women's hockey players in the world, and to want to become them. And in order to do that, we need women's hockey to be more on TV. We need a professional league. And you can see at the Olympic Games over the last few ones, women's athletes have medaled so much for Canada.
But we
Uh,
follow you.
yeah,
No, but it is really followed.
but it's for me, it's an example that as a country in Canada, we've given better opportunities to women just as much as we did for a men's athlete to be able to compete worldwide against the best. So I'm very, very proud of that, and I've said it throughout my career. There's not another country that I would have rather played at the Olympics for than Canada. I actually wish I could still do it today. I loved every second of it. So,
Are,
uh, you know,
are you optimistic today? L'optimisme règne-tu de voir le progrès, le respect de gender equality, l'égalité des femmes? Are you optimistic on what's ahead of you?
I am optimistic for my daughter's generation, but I'm feeling impatient sometimes. Because I'll give you a very clear example. After every Olympic Games that I've been part of, I was telling the media the following, and I was really, really believing it. I was telling the media each time, it's coming. We're going to have our pro league. There's 13 million Canadians that watch the Olympic final. There is a following. There is a need for it. People want to see more women's hockey. And I've been saying that for over 15 years. So I think that, we're getting to a point where if the NHL is not going to help, we need to find women's hockey supporters that have money to invest, that are going to be patient with the game, because it's going to take years, just like the WNBA did, but it has incredible potential. And in the end, it's going to create those equal opportunities for girls and for boys that we talked about early in the show. And for me, that's a mission that I have in my life, and I hope that we can do that, we can achieve that, working closely with men and
How,
having men that are passionate about this
you're
subject.
talking about closely working with men. Travailler un rapprochement avec les hommes, point de vue de travail. Les hommes, les jeunes hommes gens d'affaires, ils doivent faire quoi envers la Ligue nationale? What is the men's role now to convince the importance of girl hockey, ladies hockey to the NHL? How can we do our part? Because that's what it's all about. We have to do our part. How can we do that? What should we do as men?
Well, I think that several NHL hockey players have daughters, and I would hope that they would want them to experience the same joy that they did throughout their NHL career, and that they would want that for them. And I think for us, the challenge is also on us to create a solid league first that the NHL is going to want to partner with. That's how I see it right now. I think we have enough supporters around the world that want to move women's hockey forward. We just saw an incredible partnership with Secret that just happened last week
Yes,
for
great.
$1 million. So I think it is coming, it is there. And, I want to not see the negative comments that I still read on social media. I don't want people to compare both men's and women's hockey. I want people to get to a point where they can appreciate both sports, just like we do in tennis. People value Serena Williams just as much as they value Roger Federer. They don't compare both. But for some reason, we're still trailing with that in hockey.
Soccer has that now today. Same thing in soccer. Is it? Do you think it's because the NHL, vu que la Ligue nationale de hockey vous appuie pas comme il devrait le faire, ça vous nuit plus que n'importe quoi?
Je pense pas que ça nous nuit. Je pense qu'il y a vraiment un désir de nous aider. D'ailleurs, Jeff Molson avec le Canadien de Montréal nous aide depuis plusieurs années. C'est juste qu'on a besoin davantage d'aide à travers le Canada, les États-Unis, peut-être de commencer avec la façon que la Ligue nationale avait commencé, un Original Six. Parce que l'autre réalité, c'est qu'on n'a pas présentement avec nous les meilleures Finlandaises, les meilleures Suédoises, les meilleurs Russes. Puis quand tu n'arrives pas à ça, tu n'as pas le meilleur produit sur la glace. Puis je veux juste vous faire penser à ceci. Il y a tellement d'hommes à travers le monde, dans plein de ligues, qui jouent au hockey professionnellement, dans des organisations qui ne sont pas à profit, mais parce qu'ils sont sous le parapluie de la Ligue nationale, ils réussissent à bien gagner leur vie. Donc, c'est des petites choses qu'on réalise pas toujours, mais qui sont hyper importantes quand on parle de l'équité des genres.
We talked about equality. Without any doubt, it has to come to there. We have to get to that. Mais je regarde aujourd'hui encore une fois, dans le hockey masculin, mineur, pas hockey masculin professionnel, il n'y a pas d'assez d'entraîneurs féminins. Pourquoi? Why don't the ladies have more opportunities in minor league hockey? I think minor league hockey has a role to do that. Give that chance to the ladies to coach also. Don't you think so?
Oui, absolument. Puis c'est un de mes défis aussi. J'ai créé un tournoi, une organisation sans profit. Puis j'invite une trentaine de joueuses qui jouent actuellement à s'impliquer comme entraîneur parce que je crois vraiment passionnément que si tu commences à coacher quand tu joues encore, il y a des bonnes chances que tu vas vouloir rester impliqué dans le hockey, puis même coacher tes enfants un jour. Donc, je pense que ça s'en vient. C'est aussi la façon, des fois, notre système est fait que si, je pense de plus en plus dans les familles, autant les hommes que les femmes dans une relation se partagent les tâches avec les enfants, ce qui va permettre à davantage de femmes de s'impliquer dans des activités qui sont un peu hors du concept familial. Donc, plus ces systèmes-là changent, plus on va voir de femmes impliquées dans toutes sortes de sphères de vie.
Because we know in Montreal with Serge Savard, who was a owner of a junior team, he had one of the great lady coaches as an assistant coach, and she did a heck of a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think there are amazing women that are qualified to coach at every level. Like if I think about myself, I would like crave to learn from an NHL coach. Like I would take it all in. I would be so I think one of my vision has always been like you're a forever student of the game. Like you steal drills, you take ideas, you take concepts. This is what the best coach do in my opinion, and that's why I love working with the national women's hockey team. Is that I learn so much when I go to camps, to events, because I'm coaching with the best coach in the female game, and I love that. So I think that can be applied to every area, and I challenge men in leadership position want to become a mentor. Identify some great talent in your organization, whether it's young men or women that are just starting their professional career, and understand the power that you have to mentor them so that one day they can replace you.
I look at the ladies, because when I say ladies, I don't want to put a certain age. Don't you think that one day they should also be professional scouts? because I think a woman can analyze more than anything else. Why don't we have them in the scouting area? When we talk about being equal, you're a lady, you're looking for a hockey player. Whether she's a girl or a boy, you're looking for the same things. I think when you go and see a junior hockey player or a midget hockey player, what do you look at? The same skills as the ladies have. Why don't we have scouts? Is it about time we talk about equality? That would be a major step to have you one day go towards where professional coaching.
Yeah, that's it's fun you think about that area because Camille Granato has become the first scout in the NHL with the Seattle team, and scouting goes so much further than just watching hockey games and watching players. It's about building relationships where you get to know the young players and you realize whether you're drafting character and a really solid work ethic. Because all of us as coaches, we've been burned recruiting solely on talent. You see a player, he or she is really talented, you think, oh, that's the next one. And then you get to meet them and you realize they don't work so hard, they don't put the team before them. So I think that's another area where women have great assets. We care about relationships, we care about getting to know people, and I'm not saying men are not like that, but I think we are used to doing that in every areas of our lives, and that's where I think women can add values to that other area that is scouting. So how is that going to happen? It takes a man leader in an NHL team to see value in it, and that's what happened to one of the greatest female players of all time, or hockey player of all time, in Camille Granato. She was the best of her generation, and she inspired just as much girls or boys with hockey.
Caroline, we could keep on going for another hour. On pourrait continuer pendant une autre heure, but I think Tanya's telling it. Rodger will say thank you to everybody. Vous savez, Caroline, you're outstanding. As a player, we could see you there and your leadership was there. Mais encore plus aujourd'hui, tu viens de donner un message d'espoir. Un message d'espoir à nos jeunes, ce qui est tellement, tellement important. C'est pour ça, vous laissez aller d'une façon, l'égalité, ça se gagne pas, ça se donne pas. C'est le respect. On doit tout simplement respecter la femme, comme qu'on respecte l'homme. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your messages were more than encouraging for the women of tomorrow. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Merci, Roger.
Alors, merci beaucoup tout le monde. Je pense qu'on a passé une belle journée à parler justement de ce que c'est qu'on devait faire et comment est-ce qu'on peut faire. How can we help all this? What I ask you to do before I leave, let me just read I have the right address, or else I'm going to be in deep trouble. Take my word. I'm going to ask you people to just take the time, just use our website. I'm getting to it. Don't get me wrong. I have it written somewhere, but I'm messing it all up. Tanya, would you please send me just so I can get it properly? Here I go. Here we go. Okay. Just send it, please, to our website. Take the time to write to us. Take the time to write. It's time to play, just to support us. It's so, so very important. Merci beaucoup. Et je vous demande une chose. Encourageons les jeunes filles à devenir des grandes dames dans un meilleur monde. Let's encourage our young kids to be great ladies in a stronger world. Merci. Thank you.